Alright, so this is a road to revolution or something. Not easy to read. They've given up on this sign. Road to revolution. So you can read what little is showing. And this is on the way to the battle site. So I'm thinking Mexico is on this route. So I brought my drone. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find a good spot to use it, but I brought it with the intention, good intention. It's a base. Oh, they're locked. Okay. It's a little windy. I don't have my launch pad, so I'm kind of limited for spots too. I had to poop so bad and get out of the car, and that was the one thing I didn't grab. Tap water is awful here. And the next the city north of here, or west of here, it's pretty bad. Bad tap water. This is Browntown. Still heading to the museum. The wind is at my back, so heading back is going to be more of a challenge. All right. Look at that. They got free pens. Is that a horse? Long trail. They got these stations, these like rest stations, and then a little reading information all about the area. All right. There's a port? I guess I haven't looked close enough. All right, somebody tied up some horses on the side of this trail, and I heard a horse on my right. So they've got to get used to the humans. They look a little, they could see their ribs, they look a little underfed. It was a hot, sticky day. I decided to go for a bicycle ride. And there's a lot of interesting things to look at. Vote for Ramon across the board. Every name with Ramon, you vote for it. A curve here. Those lawnmower guys are taking a nice break in a remote spot. It's a little suspicious. Alright, so I gotta go up onto this road and then straight down, and that'll take me to the battlefield. It's not too slippery. Okay, shouldn't be in 360. Alright, so this is part of the walking trail to get onto the battlefield. We're in a tick eradication zone. They've opened up. Okay. Yeah, and They'll talk about it more further in, I'm sure. It was fought here and won. Alright, so I just lost my screen. Emergency assistance. Alright, I hope that this is okay. Fought in a lot of dense brush. I guess I didn't really think about that much, but you're not going to have an easy time seeing the enemy. You got to cut down all this brush. So they were just winding their way through this. Is mostly flat land and then brush, and then trying to find the enemy. It's almost like jungle warfare. Makes me wonder if they used any aerial. In fact, this would be a perfect spot to fly the drone quick.
Battle of Palo Alto. The Driftard War with Mexico had begun in 1845, when the United States annexed the Republic of Texas as a new state. In 1836, the Mexicans had fought an unsuccessful war with Texans to keep them from breaking away to become an independent nation. Since then, Mexico had refused to recognize the independence of Texas or the Rio Grande River as an international boundary. In January 1846, fearing the Mexicans would respond to U.S. annexation by asserting control over disputed territory in southwestern Texas, President James Polk, 1795 to 1849, ordered General Zachary Taylor to move a force into Texas to defend the Rio Grande border.
After a last-minute effort to settle the dispute diplomatically failed, Taylor was ordered to take his forces up to the disputed borderline of the Rio Grande. The Mexican General Mariano Arista viewed this as a hostile invasion of Mexican territory, and on April 25, 1846, he took his soldiers across the river and attacked. Congress declared war on May 13th and authorized the draft to build up the U.S. Army. Taylor, however, was in no position to await formal declaration of a war that he was already fighting. In the weeks following the initial skirmish along the Rio Grande, Taylor engaged the Mexican army in 2 battles. On May 8th, near Palo Alto, and the next day at Resaca de la Palma, Taylor led his 200 soldiers to victories against much larger Mexican forces. Poor training and inferior armaments undermined the Mexican army's troop advantage. Mexican gunpowder, for example, was of such poor quality that artillery barrages often sent cannonballs bouncing lazily across the battlefield, and the American soldiers merely had to step out of the way to avoid them.
Following his victories at Palo Alto and Resaca de la Palma, Taylor crossed the Rio Grande and took the war into Mexican territory. During the next 10 months, he won 4 battles and gained control over the 3 northeastern Mexican states. The following year, the focus of the war shifted elsewhere, and Taylor's role diminished. Other generals continued the fight, which finally ended with General Winfield Scott's occupation of Mexico City in September of 1847.
Viva Mexico! I might have been caught playing with my drone. I might have been. Okay, maybe not. There's another situation with people on their golf cart racers. They love to chase down those droners. They park right next to me. Had me a little nervous. They got a school bus here, so there's some class in session. I'd love to use this picnic table. I hear talking. They might come over here, they might not. This is quite an open field. As So I wonder if the field was open like this. Maybe it was a lot of farm field that they fought across. This looks to be in good condition. This raises the barrel by twisting it. Wow, it's plastic, I think. A brass barrel. And a bucket. And then the horses pull this separate, probably additional supplies supporting. So that talking is the maintenance crew. What? Did I see a drone fly around here? Yeah, he went that way, man. Go get him. So the Javelina is out here in this natural fortress. Usted está aquí. Half-mile long trail. Wow. There's something out there. There's some kind of roofed structure, open walls. How many soldiers succumb to the venom of a snake? Gah! 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 I'm bitten! Oh! Oh! I walked by a school class in around there, school class, young kids, maybe high school, freshman, sophomore, on a field trip. Man, I think my learning would have been a lot better if I could have taken more field trips. Cannonballs and raptors in the air on that day. I just saw one flying in circles. Glad he didn't mess with my drone. This couple up ahead look very lovey-dovey. I want to ask them, or ask the guy, maybe focus on him and be like, hey, when's the last time you kissed your girl? All right. That way somewhere. That's something else. The details in these signs really and make you start thinking about what it was like. I've never seen this thing. The Nilgai. It's been reported. Pictures taken. The overlook is there. I didn't go because the couple was there. I'll go back. This is supposed to be like maybe the center point of the battlefield. Possibly. There's signs, plenty of signs to read. So with these cannons, the two sides never got close enough for hand-to-hand combat because the cannons kept them at bay. From this point, the Mexican cavalry tried to sweep to the left, and he brought his cannons forward on these wheels closer to them forward, and then took apart the cavalry.
Which basically says Mexico gives up all time to Texas. So you can do that. And that was the Republic of Texas was born, nation of Texas was born in 1846. It will last approximately 9 years. Mexico.
All right, broke another chain. Got about 1.5 miles back. I'm gonna leave it. All right, almost back. I just got a little ways to go. It's getting windy, and I heard in the radio, I was at Subway, and they said 30 miles an hour today. This is what 30 miles is. Even worse tomorrow at 50.